than hobbyists. The 1980s. Well, the late 1980s. Remember them? With satellite TV starting to take hold, the Soviet Union started cracking. We spent hours making mixtapes, trying to stop recording before the disc jockey started waffling. Getting David Hasselhoff to bring down the Berlin Wall. And everyone wore Ray-Ban Wayfarers. In the 1980s, Windows was released for PC, which meant more computers could speak to each other, especially with the invention of the internet. It was a time when your bank stopped being your bank. On the high street, they started closing them down, as God forbid you had any personal interaction when dealing with your finances. Instead, the old bank becomes a fancy wine bar, and from now on, if you need to speak to a bank, you have to ring a call centre based somewhere in the world, pressing different options to get nowhere. As a result, business parks are built outside of towns to house such exploits. Dealing with your money, or usually debt, they would cram these drab buildings full of telephone operators to convince people instead of paying debt off, you should take more debt on. I'm not sure if it was Terry Pratchett or Douglas Adams that remarked how they built these box-like buildings, and because they slapped a couple of columns on it, they would call it architecture. Today, we are visiting one of these business parks, which was opened in 1988. It was immediately stuffed with finance houses. Some are still here, but most have been sold or moved overseas. So what is the best vehicle for this then? Possibly the Monster Beetle, originally released in 1986, and even Del Boy in Only Fools and Horses had owned one. So let's get your stripy shirt on and your red power braces, and let's revisit these days of the Dayglow decade. This video actually marks the last outing for the Bob Ross Monster Beetle. The theme of having him bimbling about looking for vistas was fun, but change can also be good, so a new look is coming soon. One issue that the Monster Beetle has always had is it cutting out. The ESC has been changed, and so has the motor. It cut out again today. The latest theory is that water got into the receiver, but I'm not so sure. Maybe it's a ghost in the machine. Anyway, here's some outtakes. So you don't miss out on further videos and similar nonsense, please like, feel free to comment, definitely subscribe, and press that bell-shaped thingy to be woken up at all hours for further content. But for now, that's your lot.